At one point, you might have heard that it's very difficult to get a midwifery job, especially when you are not in the UK, to look for the job yourself and to attend the face-to-face interviews. And even when you have to sponsor yourself and come over to look for the job on a tourist visa, it's still not guaranteed that you will get a job within that 6 months. Or even when you get the job, it's not guaranteed that you will pass the interview. However, there is proof that you don't have to go through all this. I'm going to be inviting a guest very soon. She is a Nigerian trained midwife who has practiced in Nigeria and is now practicing in the UK. She got her job right from Nigeria, so it is very possible for you to get a midwifery job before coming over to the UK. I'm going to shut up now so we can allow our guest to introduce herself and we can continue this video. All right. Today we are going to be talking about how to get a job as a midwife while you are still in your country. Can you tell us about yourself, please?
Okay. My name is Shulamite Aneto. You can call me Shomi. I am a registered midwife in the UK. Having passed my OSCE and gotten my PIN, I trained in Nigeria at Anambra State School of Midwifery, Mpo, now known as Go-Youth, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Chukwu University Teaching Hospital. It's actually a 3-year program where you'll be awarded a diploma degree and then given a license to practice as a midwife by Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. So I graduated in 2010, and since then I've been exploring my possibilities. I've practiced first in the communities, then from community midwifery I practiced in the hospitals, and from hospital midwifery experience, and I'm here today as a midwife.
When you were applying for the job, your experience from different settings, did it make any difference at all?
Yes, of course. And I would say that having experience in the community actually gave me an edge, because midwifery in the UK is more of community-like, patient-centered approach.
How did you find a job from Nigeria? Because what I've heard is that as a midwife is very, very difficult. So how did you manage to get the job when you were still at home?
I went to NHS job websites, created a profile. I went to track jobs, created a profile because I wanted to work with NHS. I followed them strictly, subscribed to their emails, and applied for jobs directly to the hospitals. And it's not just to apply. When you read the job description and person specification, you see what they're actually looking at. You have to apply through a route that you know that you will be called for interview. For instance, you don't go applying for band 6 jobs, band 7, band 8. You go applying for band 5 jobs, and those band 5 jobs is your level of coming in to the UK. Now, you don't apply to all band 5 jobs. You still look out for those jobs that can give you certificate of sponsorship, except you want to sponsor yourself through it all. So I was looking out for these 2 things: advertisements that has certificate of sponsorship, advertisement that has band 5. Then I also had an information from a YouTuber too that talked about preceptorship midwives. So I basically type preceptorship and I look out for jobs on preceptorship. Most people apply for jobs that they are not supposed to apply for. Some do apply for jobs that will not give them sponsorship. They will go for interviews, pass the interview, and the employer will be like, sorry, we cannot sponsor you, cannot give you COS, so how can you get here? I think someone asked me sometimes last week that she don't like the sound of preceptorship.
It's I was going to ask that. What does preceptorship midwife mean?
Yeah, it's being a preceptorship. In a preceptorship position means that you are not given the freedom to practice alone yet. You know, you need it. NHS will not automatically give you band 5 until you pass your OSCE. So, and provided you're still there, you pass through a training, some depending on trust. Some trusts do preceptorship for a year, and some do for 6 months. So depending on the trust you are in, is a program that is designed to like take you around the hospital on a clinical posting, orientation. You are also doing your mandatory training, your educational development, career progress, so that by the time you are done with the preceptorship, you now have this confidence that you need to handle care without somebody supervising you.
So when you apply for jobs on the NHS website, do they specify it as like this is a preceptorship job, or it's just written there as midwife?
Yes, if you go to NHS job websites and search for preceptorship midwife jobs, it will come out. When I was doing my application, I had over 200 openings for preceptorship midwives. Yes. So I kept applying and applying and applying, but I made sure I applied to those ones that say, if you require a certificate of sponsorship, we're going to give it to you. So that's what I did.
How many agencies did you apply to? How many jobs did you apply for?
I cannot give you the exact number. I will tell you the truth is that in a day, I do like 20 applications. I contacted almost all the agencies I know. Like, I love watching YouTube, and I met you on YouTube, and I met some other people. Like, I keep asking questions. Do you know agencies? Like, let me talk to them. I mailed them. They gave me their suggestions. Some will tell me, no, you go and self-sponsor. Some will tell me, sorry, they don't recruit midwives. Some will say, okay, let's give it a try. Send your CV. And, some gave me hope that it's because of lockdown, they will call for interviews. So if you find your way to apply to hospitals, they are going to call you for interviews. I know friends that have been getting interviews, have been getting job offers. I also know friends from Ghana, from Nigeria that are already here in the UK working. So it's all about when you hear success stories, you know that you can do it. Because if you're not hearing success stories, you're always hearing about nursing, you'll be like, no, it's not something that can be done.
So how did your interview go?
It was a Skype interview. Yeah. Because some of these agencies were like scaring me. No, midwifery is a specialty. It's not just like nursing. You have to go face-to-face interviews. I keep hearing about face-to-face interviews, but when I apply and I'm being called for interview, I do think outside the box. I will mail the employer to say, I indicated in my application letter that I'm an overseas midwife, but I got an interview requesting for face-to-face. I'm in Nigeria. So if you can offer me a virtual interview, I'll be glad. So, if they really want to, they will give you that. And I got a Skype interview. And what were the interview questions? They are the things how you have a patient, how you're going to manage her, you have a baby, what are you going to do in such a situation? You just talk about the things you do. They're not expecting you to talk about what they do in the UK. No, they know you are trained outside. And then any employer that wants to employ you from outside know that they are going to brush you up to reach to NMC and the UK standard. So they're not looking out for perfection in you. So my questions were still things I practiced in both clinicals and the communities, and I answered them and I passed.
Okay. So after getting the job, how long did it take for you to get your COS?
Okay. I got my COS 3 months after my interview, and my offer letter came. My offer letter came the same week I had my interview. So from then till when I got my COS, it was 3 months.
Did you have to keep calling the hospital yourself? Because usually when you use agency, the agency will be the one to to chase it up. But since you did it
Okay.
yourself, were you calling the hospital or you just waited and they sent it to you when it was ready?
Well, they were organized, I will say. Um, they're always communicating. They will tell you when to do this, tell you when to do that. They will tell you when to expect the certificates, So I wasn't really, they've given me the job and then they need to bring me over to the UK and I need that certificate. And they have to apply for that COS before they will give it to you. So when they apply it and the Home Office issues it out, is when the Home Office issued it out that they gave me the COS. So I didn't really I didn't really bug them with calls, like calling them, give me COS, give me COS, give me COS. So I didn't do that.
So what about the payment? For us nurses, when we get jobs, the employer pay for our flight, visa, 1 month accommodation, health insurance. The health insurance has been removed now. But in your own case, did your employer sponsor anything or they just left everything for you to do?
Well, like I said at the onset, the process is the same with nurses. And when you talk about funding, let me make something clear here because most questions I've been getting, people tend to think about NMC registration as the same thing with getting a job. No, they are two different things. NMC is a body that regulates practice in the UK. You have your registration to do with them, your IELTS, your CBT, your OSCE, your funding, the funds you pay. That is about your registration with NMC. Then if you're talking about getting a job, now, then you talk about your visa, your flight, your accommodations. It's a two different thing altogether. So when you are done with your NMC registration and you're talking about your job, which is the question you asked me now, it now depends on your trusts. Because I've seen nurses that have different packages from different trusts. Some trusts will give them 2 weeks accommodation. Some trusts will give 1 month accommodation. My trust gave me 2 months accommodation. Yes, they funded my flight. They funded. So it's basically the same. It's basically the same thing. So they funded it all. But at first, there are some things you will have to pay yourself and then they will refund you. And that's just like I said, it depends on the trust you're going to. You'll pay those things first and they will refund you, or they will pay them for you. When they apply for my COS, the health surcharge has not been removed, so they paid for it. I didn't pay for it. They paid for it. They paid for my visa. They paid for my flights and OSCE. So it all depends on your trusts and the package they gave you. From your offer letter, you will see what they're offering you. If you're happy with it, you sign it, and that is what you are expecting. If you're not happy with it, then they will look for someone else.